Hey everyone, it's Juliana. First of all, I would like to thank you all for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. It's been about 7 years since I set that goal, and myself, I didn't really think that I was ever going to be able to get to 1,000 subscribers, especially YouTube's algorithm now. But we made it, and I've literally had my channel for almost 8 years now. So I would especially like to thank those who have really stuck around and supported me, whether my content is like memes, my artwork, etc. I want to show you all a little bit of a Thomas fan art that I've done recently, but it's a little bit more experimental, so I want you all to let me know what you think of it. I have drawn some of the Thomas characters as humans, and I have drawn one of them as a human before, but also most of them it's my first time, so I want to show you all, and yeah, here we go. Ta-da! Honestly, this is... I've just finished it yesterday, May 15th, 2026, and at the time of filming it is May 16th, 2026. So I've made this doodle to thank you all, and I put it over the drawing itself, so like to make it a little bit more surprise. The characters featured are Dirk, James, Gordon, and Henry, and I have drawn Duck as a human before, but I added, the design I made back then was a lot more inspired by the Go Animate creator Nubulator 9000, who did the grey skin tones and they put the funnels on. But in this drawing I decided to make them 100% human, with more earthy skin tones, no funnels, just the human version of them. And this drawing I'm actually really proud of. I've done it over the span of a month and a half. I started it early April, and it's mid-May now. So, and I'm really happy with the result, honestly. I'm so proud of all the colouring, how it turned out, and I want to go through each of the characters, and I've even got the sketches with me, so I'll show you all how I sort of made this drawing and how I put it together. First we have Dirk. I'm going to give you all a close-up of his face. Like I mentioned before, I've drawn him in the human design before, but this time I made him 100% human. And I decided to give him like this really fluffy sort of hair. A little bit of a silly idea I came up with while I was drawing this entire piece. I thought that since Duck has this long and fluffy hair, if he ties it up, it will sort of resemble a duck's tail, if you know what I mean. I know it's a bit of a silly idea, a little bit of pun intended, but don't worry. I want you all to... I'll make another drawing just to show you all what I mean, but in the meantime, this is what I've come up with for if his hair is ever out. And I've added a little Great Western Railway badge. In the last coloured drawing I've made of him, I've given him more brown overalls, but this time I've made them like dark green and black to sort of resemble the original GWR livery. And he's holding his hat over here. I'll get my camera to focus, there we go. I honestly love how he turned out. I think I made his hair accidentally darker than it should be, but I love how I coloured it here. It just looks so glossy and so realistic. I love it so much. I really love Duck. He's my favourite character, and I hope I get to do more humanised drawings of him, because I really love how he turned out here. Next we have James. the line art of his face was the messiest while I was working on this, but luckily I've managed to fix it just as I was doing the finishing touches. Let me get, yep, camera's focusing a little bit now. And I wanted to give him like a little bit of curly stuff in the fringe, because he's a splendid red engine. So, and I sort of just put him in a more stylish pose to really show off how splendid he is. I mean, James really is a splendid engine. He is. So honestly, if he was a fully human, he'd probably be a very splendid man himself. I mean, look at him. I forgot to mention, you might also notice that the eyes look blue or yellow or brown or even pink. Their eyes are meant to be black. I added sort of blue, yellow, pink, green undertones just to give more variation in colour. But with James, I love how he turned out as well. Even though the line art on his face turned out to be really messy, I think I did a pretty good job with him, especially with the hair and the pose I did for him. Not everything is shown here, but I'll show you guys the sketch so that way I can give you a better picture of what he was supposed to be posing like. Then we have Gordon. I love the colouring I did with him, but I feel like I need to work on him a bit more because as he is the big, strong engine, I thought to make him a bit muscular. As you can see, I kind of tried to do it, make it visible with the arms. I also made his shoulders a bit more broad than, because, again, like, those who are more muscular, they have, like, really broad shoulders. I also accidentally made his hips a bit too wide, but don't worry, that can be fixed in another drawing. His face, let me get a good focus on, yep. I decided to give him a, ooh, what do we have here sort of face. I also gave him the slick back hair to make him more, to give him more style, also because, like, to resemble, also, like, slick back, like, it's going back, because he's to resemble, I don't know, how do I word this? He's like the fast engine, the express, so the hair goes, like, back, and the slick back hair is sort of supposed to resemble that a little bit, alongside a bit of style. I love how I coloured Gordon here, but I feel like the way I drew the way I shaped his body, I need to sort of work on that a little bit. But other than that, I like how Gordon turned out, I love how the colouring turned out. His face, also, the line art of Gordon's face is the cleanest out of everybody I've done when I first lined this piece. But other than that, I love how he turned out, honestly. He looks really, like, he looks confused, also, like, curious. I like that. Last, we have Henry. I've really tried to work on Henry's hair design. I wanted to give him, like, blonde hair, but more of a dull blonde. Not like the golden blonde, like a bit more of a dirtier sort of blonde. Not literally, but like dull, like a dull colour. I love how his face turned out. He looks really jolly here, and that's what he's supposed to be, you know. He's the big engine, but not as big as Gordon, but pretty much, I wanted to give his hair a lot more shape, not like the slick back, but also like puffy, and a little ahoge, or like a little bit of hair poking out from the top of his head. And I wanted to sort of make his hair a bit more puffy, not as puffy as Duck's, but just enough to sort of, you know, again, oh god, I don't know how to word this, sorry, it's a bit complicated, because, again, this is an experimental drawing, but, yeah, I wanted to make him look like his usual jolly self, and the pose I'll need to work on that a little bit, but that's okay. And I love how I coloured his outfit, and he was the first character to be coloured out of everybody else, order was from right to left, because I'm left-handed, so, I just decided to go from right to left, just so if I colour from here to here, I know that the ink is going to smudge everywhere, and the paint as well, because I used a lot of paint markers just to sort of like even out some of the highlights and the other areas. Let me get the camera to sort of focus on his face a little bit. It's not entirely there, but I think you guys could see it pretty clearly. And all the engines are wearing like the overalls, and jumpers. I feel like if it's in the summer, they'll probably have like maybe shorter overalls, and like they'll just wear their shirts, because obviously it gets really hot in the summer. And also I like to add these cuffs. I think of these like, like sweatbands. That's what I'm thinking. James has a watch, which will probably be a lot more visible in the sketch, but it's a little bit visible here. And there's my signature, and I called it Humangines 1. a little bit of a silly name, I know, but that's the best I could come up with at the moment. And then the characters they feature, so Duck, Montague, his real name, James, Gordon, and Henry, the franchise they're from, the date it was made, and my signature, and also my fingerprints to sort of tell that this is an original and that I've made it. This piece, I'm really proud of it, and honestly I just hope that I can do a lot more with these designs, and hopefully I could also come up with, I think I've already come up with a design for Oliver, one for maybe Thomas, maybe one for Edward, and one for Percy as well, but I'll have to really work on that. But other than that, I absolutely love how this turned out. Also, let me show you guys the sketches for the Humangines drawing. This is Duck and James, and these are the original sketches. So they were supposed to be drawn together in the beginning, but I thought, no, everything would clash too much. I thought maybe I should draw them separately first, and then I would put them all together. I would use my light box, and I would just add them all together during the line art process. And this is Ducks. My sketches are normally very messy, so they might not look as neat, but other than that, Duck's mouth is a lot more, like, really... I made Duck's mouth more shapely in the sketch, but even in the final piece, it's more... I made it shapely again. It wasn't as shapely in the first lining process. James was... Again, I was supposed to draw them together, but then I thought, wait, no, I'm just gonna draw them separately and then add them together when I line them. There's James. The face actually looks really nice in the sketch, and he's like, ooh, well, don't I look good? There's the watch that I mentioned earlier. I mentioned that it's a lot more visible in the sketch because I drew them separately and then put them all together in the final piece. And it says, I just wrote one of James's quotes, like really tiny right next to him, but it says, I'm a splendid engine. I am a splendid engine. And these were the dates of when the sketches were made, so 6th of April, Duck was drawn on April 6th, James was drawn on April 7th, and then we have Gordon and Henry. Gordon's hair looks a bit more fluffy in the sketch, and both Gordon and Henry were sketched on April 11th, and I did a little silly doodle there. I really like, as well, ever since I started using the Lightbox, I don't really have to take pictures of my sketches anymore, because I literally have them right here with me, and it's nice as well because I could put them side by side with the final piece, and I could just go ahead and have a look, and I'll see, ooh, it's like comparison of the process. These are all the sketches, by the way, over here. I don't know if I could put them all together, but here's Duck and James's, and then here's Henry and Gordon's. So, that is pretty much it for this video. I want to thank you all for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers, and please let me know what you think about this drawing, and let me know in the comments who's your favorite design, who's your favorite Thomas character, and what would you like me to draw out of them next. What an inspiration. I want to draw some cute scenes out of these guys. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe. Bye, guys.